Good morning. It's the day of my birthday, and I already got flowers from Vernon and our amazing Italian neighbor. And I didn't even know Vernon took the day off today, and he's taking me, he won't tell me where, to a restaurant for lunch.
Okay, so the cat's out of the bag. We're here at the restaurant, and the name of it is Agli Amici, which means to friends in Italian. And it's quite an old restaurant, actually. They advertise that it's from 1887, so that's about 136 years old. So this is a great restaurant.
So Vernon didn't tell me how fancy this place is.
I knew we had to dress up, but I didn't know how much. So I'm glad we made the right choice on how we dress today.
So this is a 2-star Michelin restaurant. I just thought it was like one of those recommendations, but no, this is pretty up there.
Only the best for you, babe.
So since we're a little bit early, we're enjoying like a little drink in the courtyard. And let me just tell you, this restaurant is literally in the middle of nowhere. I've never heard of this town. I've never been in this area. It is charming, quiet. It's stunning.
I'm oversimplifying it, but that looks like a prosciutto on a fork.
So the thing with these restaurants, you will get endless amounts of small portions of food and just they'll keep coming. And this is the first round of it, so I'm very excited. How is it?
Amazing. Really, really good. Wow.
So what is yours called? Do you remember?
It's called Summer something. I don't remember the name.
And I have the spicy Americano. It's, believe it or not, there's actually wasabi powder in there. It's pretty good. This is a fake shell. That's a real shell. And when she told us to eat it all in one bite, I think Vernon was a little shocked.
I thought she was going to have us eat the shell. It's like, I'm willing to do some daring things for food, but it was kind of strange.
But you go first. Is it sweet, savory, salt?
I don't even know how to describe it. It's like 5 different flavors just going off one after another, and then they come back over and over and over.
So this is all in one bite? That is very realistic. It feels like you're eating the ocean. That's the best way I could describe it. But imagine if the ocean just had like a very floral aroma. So whatever the food comes, she explains to you how everything is and how it's cooked and what's inside. I don't remember. I just remember it sounded amazing and very poetic.
A lot of these ingredients are probably things that we've never had before and aren't going to remember and may never have again. So I don't really think it's too big of a deal to try to remember and keep all that information.
Just enjoy the food.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat it at the same time as you. So you gotta do it in a particular way. So this is the first one. I know it's something Parmesan cheese, but let's see.
It's good, isn't it?
I think imagine the best salad, like imagine like a Caesar salad, the best one in the world, and then times that 100.
That's a good point.
That's very fresh. So now we have this, I call it pinwheel thing. I feel so out of place. That's what I was just telling Vernon. I'm like, I feel so out of place. But let's see it, the pinwheel. Oh my God, there's cheese inside. There is cheese inside. I don't know how. Now we're going after this pretty one. Keep in mind, this is still all like appetizers. So from the last one, I just remember it's a type of leaf with cheese and prawns. So let's see.
Just to give you guys an idea of how unfancy we are, I thought that this was tea. And she poured it out of a teapot, but it's actually potato soup. I was just asking Mariana when she was a kid in Ukraine whether she had potato soup like this. Definitely not. I've never had anything like this either. Like I said, I thought it was tea.
It does smell like French fries though, doesn't it?
It does, I know, yeah. We're definitely uncivilized in that sense, but really, really good.
Well, let me show you guys the menu. So we know we're doing the tasting menu, which is essentially set, but they do have like the meat and the sea. And then they do have a vegetarian menu as well. And then here you can see the price for the tasting menu as well as for the wine pairing. Toughest decision in the world, picking a wine. This restaurant, everything's just been so perfectly designed. You get an incredible view of the garden. So to come to the table very fast, let me go over sea salt crackers, fancy breadsticks, sourdough bread from Sicily, and apparently their in-house made butter that's smoked. Camera does not do this food justice. But the plates alone, the lighting, just look at this atmosphere. So the butter is so good. We're dipping the breadsticks in it.
It's almost liquid. That's how soft this is. When she said it was soft, she wasn't joking. This thing is almost liquid, basically. This isn't Land O'Lakes, okay?
This ain't that Aldi butter.
That's really, really good, though.
Bit more into the light. But this is a particular type of fish from Sardinia that you can only get certain times of the year. So I don't know how much more exclusive fish can get. And then to accompany this is she poured like this cream sauce thing over it. It was prettier before. But it's essentially other parts of the fish as a reduction.
Normally, I'm not a huge fan of fish, but this looks pretty incredible. So, I mean, you only get to eat this kind of stuff once in a while. Whatever they call this fish was only around a few times a year. So I'm definitely not going to pass it up. So let's see if we can take our first test of it.
So delicate.
Ooh, ooh.
With olive sauce, I think she said, like an olive reduction.
God.
They always give you a bunch of silverware that I don't know what to do with it. So let's just fake it till we make it, right? So we're going to cut the fish and get a little bit of that sauce and that seaweed looking thing. We clearly don't go to these restaurants as often, as you can tell, but let's see. I mean, it's literally an ocean explosion in your mouth. Never in my life ever did I have a bagel inside with a straight up, I think it was like a baked potato. What do you think about that, Vern? Good? Vernon approved. So you can't go to a Michelin restaurant, of course, without not having caviar. And they got the appropriate spoons too. To be fair, I've never used that spoon, so I have no idea what I'm doing. But this ravioli, first of all, you gotta take a minute, oh, the plate's hot, to appreciate how beautiful this is. I don't know why. This also reminds me of Prometheus. It's just like the shape of it. And there's a mixture. It's kind of like the sea and the ocean inside of here. She said a lot of beautiful stuff. But I just remember she said something that inside is with potato and smoked anchovies and like the, what else did she say? The cream or something? The part of the egg. It smells amazing and I cannot wait to dig in. This is, so far, it has been an incredible experience. I wish you guys could smell this and could taste this.
I'm not exactly sure what a lot of these things are, but it's like the way that she describes them, the host or the server, is almost as like we're eating a poem.
Yeah, yeah. And the food keeps coming, but also you have to appreciate this plate. So we have a type of meat that they curate here with risotto with lemon.
There's some kind of special cold cuts that she said in November in this region of Italy, which is the Friulano region. Family and friends get together and they kind of prepare this kind of cold cut. They turned that into like obviously
So it's like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's like an Italian Thanksgiving as a dish in a really nice restaurant. I guess that's the way to look at it.
Oh, it's tender. It smells amazing. I can smell it.
There's a lot of lemon, a lot of orange, and it kind of cuts through the cold cuts. But one thing I have to point out about food like this that I absolutely love is somehow it's always the perfect temperature. It's never too cold, too room temperature, too hot. It's always perfect, just ready to eat right now.
I mean, food like this definitely needs its moment. So this has cotechino on the inside. I'll put down below what that is and more descriptive terms. And it's, again, some type of caviar, some type of leaf, some type of reduction, and some type of poem.
Honestly, it's getting to the point at this point where we're drinking a lot of wine and we're having a lot of good food. It's hard to remember what the lady is saying, but everything is amazing and everything is surprising. No matter what it is you think that you're going to eat at a restaurant like this and you're expecting some kind of flavor in your mind, when you bite into it, it's completely different. I don't know how or even why they do that kind of thing, but it's great either way.
So now we have moved on. Ooh, the plate is very hot. We moved on to the meat. So this is the back. I think she said like the back butt area of the pork with a bunch of spices from India and Pakistan. And I don't remember what this was. I think this was the longest explanation so far. But essentially on the side, the sauces that you see in the cross, essentially like curries. So it's very interesting. But I'm very curious about that.
But this here is what's called like a pate of lamb. I guess we'll just have to see how it's what it tastes like, because every time you bite into something, it's completely different than what you imagine it to be.
See the first bite of this. Ooh, the skin is amazing. I think Vernon found his true love.
Sorry, babe. I know it's your birthday, but I found someone else. This pate. So for those of you who think that these kinds of places don't give you enough food, they do.
So now we're moving into the sweet portion of the lunch. She asked us if we wanted to do cheese, and part of me did want to do the cheese tasting also, but the other part of me is like, you got like 5% room left. So let's save that for dessert because you will get full. So there was 6 or 7 courses, but each course had 2 plates. So technically it's 14 plus dessert, plus all the bread, plus all the stuff we had with the drinks outside, plus the wine. Yeah, so that adds up. So and we've been here for almost 3 hours. So definitely you have to allocate a lot of time for this. Honestly, part of me thinks that this doesn't even look edible, but it is. So you eat that.
It's like the world's most beautiful Oreo cookie. Look at that.
Did you just really say that?
It kind of looks like an Oreo.
No, that is the bougiest Oreo I've ever seen.
It has a bunch of different floral smells. It's like if you ate an Oreo at a Botanic Gardens with dill. It's mostly the dill.
But how does it compare to the deep fried Oreo in Texas?
I don't think there's much of a comparison. Let me try this. Let's see.
Ooh, crispy.
The outside tastes like a very, very thin chocolate, like a raspberry chocolate, and the inside tastes like a lemon gelato.
Ooh, take a look at that. It's very refreshing. It's not too sweet. The strawberry is a little acidic. I don't know if there's definitely, you said lemon, right? But I think the cream right here, the white, it feels like it's like almost like a lemon sorbet. There's like a strawberry reduction inside of there. So here is another dessert. This is called literally a walk through the garden, and you can see why. It looks very refreshing, very nice. Vernon?
Oh yeah, anyway, so the food, she described all the little ingredients in here. We're not going to bore you with the details, but we will try to give you an impression of what it's like.
What does it taste like? That's what everyone wants to know.
If you turn an entire Botanic Garden into a gelato or to an ice cream, that's what it tastes like. I can't describe it in any other way.
You know, this reminds me of? It's almost like a fruit-flavored mojito.
After we continue with the pan brioche that we stuffed inside with vanilla cream. After the gilet raspberries and chamomile. And we finish with the selection of dragées. And we start from the first one, that is pistachio, licorice and saffron, almond and Mediterranean flavor, peanut and black chocolate, the pecan nut and coffee. After the 2 hazelnuts, 1 gianduja and 1 red fruit.
Okay, so we've gone through 2 desserts and we're on to the 3rd one. And I'm not exactly sure the order we're supposed to eat this in. She gave us this cookie, and there are these brioches that have a cream filling inside. We have these and these.
And we each one have, yeah. They just asked us if we wanted some coffee, and I just straight up said, you know what, we're gonna take a nap after all of this, because this is technically the 3rd set of desserts. All right, so after literally 3 hours, a little over 3 hours dining, we are finished. What did you think?
Obviously, these are not the kinds of things that you can do every day. They're either once in a lifetime for many people or once in a great while for a lot of other people. I thought it was fantastic. You know, these kinds of foods, these kind of restaurants, you don't go to get as much food as possible, right? You're not going to leave these places hungry, but you're also not going to feel like you're completely stuffed either.
I'm honestly, I'm kind of near there.
Yeah.
Because we passed up on the cheese tasting because I was just like, if I have cheese and 3 sets of desserts, like, I don't know who's driving home because he's full, I'm full, we've had a wine. It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I think the food was absolutely amazing. Like, there's no doubt that when you go to a restaurant like this, the food is going to be good. It's just what else is there. So I think that what else there is the experience, right? The temperature of the restaurant, the kind of music, the service from the servers, the kinds of flavors that you're never going to experience, like a certain kind of caviar paired with a certain kind of like lemon.
Just the way it's prepared and the layers, the way you bite into it. It's crazy how the science of your chew, like the way you bite into the actual food, is calculated in this. I mean, you definitely do pay for that. You get what you pay for. But the experience overall for me, for my birthday today, thank you so much. That was incredible. And this restaurant definitely will be much more remembered than any other jewelry or any other thing. We prefer definitely doing more like things like this, an experience, maybe going somewhere or eating something or just kind of really enjoying it.
I think we definitely have much more of a memory of stuff like this.
Yeah. No, this was, to summarize it, this was wonderful. If you're ever in Udine, if you're ever in northern Italy, 11 out of 10, 100 out of 10. We recommend this restaurant. And as always, everything will be linked down below. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. You stick around and watch our other videos. Subscribe, like, because there's a lot of fun stuff we're going to be doing this summer. Ciao.
Ciao.